The environmental factors that facilitate and influence entrepreneurship. The environment factors discussed here are in terms of political and legal factors. Primarily, to summarize, environmental factors can be spoken in terms of political, economic, social, and technological and legal factors. But for this slide, we will discuss political stability, political ideology of the government, the nature of change in political ideology, and the legal factor that comes about in promoting entrepreneurship. Political stability means law and order situation of the country. Political ideology means what the government wants to promote. What are the strategies that the government is taken for the promotion of business. Any change in the government's political ideology brings in new sectors, but it also brings about a decline in the previous sectors. So a change that takes place very often is not very encouraging for a business environment. Finally, the labor laws, the wage laws are all important variables that influence entrepreneurship in an economy. Next, we proceed into understanding psychological factors influencing entrepreneurship. If I may summarize, the external factors are political, economic, social, and technological and legal factors. This psychological factor is more of an internal, intrinsic factor of the entrepreneur. Therefore, we find that it is important for us to understand the psychological factor which is inherent in the entrepreneur. The psychological factors discussed here are the need for achievement, the perception and motivation, the learning and personality of the entrepreneur. By need for achievement, we understand that a person's internal need for achieving something in life motivates him to take up business tasks for success. It is more of a determined psychological capital. It is more of a power that is within the entrepreneur that, yes, I will achieve something. Finally, we can see that perception and motivation are also psychological factors, which comes from the external support that the entrepreneur gets. The perception that comes about entrepreneurship from family and society motivates the entrepreneur to enter business. When an entrepreneur has learning about business and this economic climate, that encourages an entrepreneur to take up a successful business venture. There are different kinds of personalities that encourage business behavior, and personalities like innovators, reformists, realists are the ones who are excelling in entrepreneurial activities. Next, we go over to the characteristics which are typical of an entrepreneur. Now, in this, we have noted down 6 bullet points only. But we do not restrict our understanding about who is an entrepreneur to 6 bullet points, because an entrepreneur's characters are large, versatile, different from person to person. But to summarize for the purpose of a general understanding, we believe that an entrepreneur is someone who has a vision and creativity. As we have understood from the beginning, that an entrepreneur is someone who has innovative ideas, someone who is doing something new for the market. That brings us to the idea that the entrepreneur has a vision, and the vision is something creative, something that others did not see before. So an entrepreneur brings about a creative element. along with his creative ideas that he translates into a vision for a business. He must be passionate about the idea. By passionate, we mean he must be motivated and he must have the confidence and determination to take his business idea forward for the purpose of meeting the market needs as well as giving the business sustainable profits. To do this, we find the business entrepreneur often faces a lot of ups and downs, but to sail through with his creativity, passion, and determination, it is important for the entrepreneur to have patience and dedication. An entrepreneur must not get obstacled by the challenges that come on his way. What is important is the entrepreneur has patience and carries forward his mission with determination. In doing this, we find that the entrepreneur has to take up a lot of risk and courage that is required for resilience is something that is important for an entrepreneur. In addition to all this, it is essential that the business entrepreneur has knowledge about the business, without which, in spite of the best of creativity, motivated entrepreneur, very confident, he may have dedication and he may be able to tolerate risk, but the bottom line is that he has to have business knowledge, without which his entrepreneurial activities cannot be carried forward. But this takes us to the idea or the new term, intrapreneur. This is a new term which has been coined in the late 1980s. By the term intrapreneur, we simply mean inside entrepreneur. So an entrepreneur is one who has his own business. An intrapreneur is one who works for an organization but has activities like an entrepreneur. So an intrapreneur is an employee of a large firm who uses his entrepreneurial skills without taking up the risks that an entrepreneur takes in his own business. So the intrapreneur is an employee who has a special idea or a project, and he uses the resources of the firm, the capabilities at the disposal of the firm to promote the ideas of the business, to promote the ideas of the project that the intrapreneur has. This enables the intrapreneur to convert a profitable venture for the company with his innovative ideas. Initially, intrapreneurs were encouraged by companies where they were in need, where the companies were in distress. But today, most companies try to create the environment where the employees are free to think about new ideas, where they are free to look and explore for new ideas that may become profitable for the company. Finally, the person who is behind these new ideas is called the intrapreneur, an employee of a firm, which is different from an entrepreneur who runs his own business. Next, we go over to the different types of entrepreneur. According to the type of business activity, according to the use of technology, according to motivation, and according to the stages of development, we can divide the different types of entrepreneurs. To begin with, we discuss the different types of entrepreneurs according to the types of business. An entrepreneur can be a trading entrepreneur, buys from here, changes form, sells somewhere else, buys from here, changes in a market where the information has been scarce. That is a trading entrepreneur. Second, we have the manufacturing entrepreneur, where the manufacturing entrepreneur identifies the needs of the market, explores the resources and technology to be used to manufacture the products, to satisfy the customer's needs. And the manufacturing that he does is an innovative idea. That is a manufacturing entrepreneur. Finally, we also have the agricultural entrepreneur who undertake agricultural activities, and that could mean many things. It does not necessarily mean growing a new crop. It may also mean marketing of the produce in a different way. It may mean making new ways of irrigation. It may mean new ways of packaging the agricultural products. So depending upon the type of business, the entrepreneurs can be divided into trading, manufacturing, and agricultural entrepreneurs. Based on the use of technology, we can say that there are pro-technology entrepreneurs and non-technology entrepreneurs. Every business today uses technology. So by non-technical entrepreneur, we do not mean that a person who does not use technology. Why we divide these two is some entrepreneurs focus on their business on science and technology based activities. Say designing a software is a technical entrepreneur's job, whereas the non-technical entrepreneur may be doing some other innovative activity by the backup use of technology, but the focus activity is not with the use of technology. So based on the use of technology, there are two types of entrepreneur, technical and non-technical. Based on the next one, based on ownership, we find that there can be private entrepreneurs, individuals, partnerships, corporations, private limited companies. They are private entrepreneurs. There can be state entrepreneurs where the government, the state, takes up innovative activities for the purpose of welfare schemes, for the purpose of irrigation, health measures, welfare measures, something. That is a state entrepreneur's activity. Finally, we can have a combination of the private and the government sector where they jointly run an enterprise which is innovative in nature, and that could be called joint entrepreneurship.